Welcome to Fiery Discourse, your podcast and media featuring dragonesses, female dinosaurs, and other similar saurians and scalies. I'm your host, Ludmillanon, and with me are my co-hosts, Angron, Mathmachine, Stryker, Lucky Eevee, and Jordan. Today is our 98th episode, and we are discussing the 2021 Pokemon Journeys, the series episode, Thrash of the Titans. So, let's get things started.
I would do a Dragonite call, but as of this recording, I am recovering from a sickness, so my throat would probably be shredded if I did.
Yeah, it's just, I hear you, same. But yeah, so as everyone pretty much knows, the original Pokemon anime ran for many seasons, and because of that, we have a lot more of female dragonesses and dinosaur characters to talk about, which will be a lot of fun. This episode in particular is going to be an interesting one because the last one we talked about was a Mystery of the Lighthouse from the very early part of the show. Like, Maddie Blaustein, I don't think was even voicing Meowth then. And this is on the other opposite end of the spectrum because this is coming at the final season of the show. And there's a lot of differences here, but it's really fascinating to talk about before we actually talk about the episode itself. Basically, the most obvious one is... Oh, go ahead, Math.
For those who aren't quite sure what we're talking about, because there still is Pokemon airing, technically speaking, the Pokemon series is still going. It's just now headed by a completely new cast. And we are currently talking about the final series with Ash, rather than the new series, because there's like 3-4 seasons in a series.
Indeed.
Yep.
Also, no Ash. So, for all of you who absolutely hate Ash, then great for you. All those who love, cool. You do that.
I definitely can see that. But yeah, so basically, the most notable changes with the voice actors, because I think the Pokemon Company basically fired all of the 4Kids voice actors and got their own to basically do the rest of the show. What's more interesting is the fact that Team Rocket is nowhere to be seen in this episode. They are not even mentioned, which for someone like me who grew up with like the first few seasons and where they pretty much showed up in every single episode, even the most minute of areas, it's definitely kind of a culture shock.
Indeed.
Excuse me, right? But yeah, this episode in particular, it brings back Iris, who was Ash's traveling companion during the Unova series, and it's focused again on dragon types in particular, something that is very relevant for us.
Yes,
go
very
ahead,
much so. Yeah, very much so. She is a Dragon Master. She's champion in Black and White 2 and in this episode. But she's also my least favorite of Ash's female traveling companions for one reason. He's a hypocrite. Like, legit. She calls Ash a child, and yet she's more childish than Ash most likely has been. Yeah, sure as things could get a little off the rails sometimes, but at least he somewhat has a maturity that even Iris can't exactly compare to.
Like, you and many others.
Yeah, I did not like anime Iris. The game Iris is something different. Also, hot take, I don't think both the anime and the game Iris really deserves to be champion. Like, yeah, I mean, they do a better job than Rodimus was as a Prime. Shots fired. But yeah, I really don't like anime Iris's character in the G5 anime. And here, she gets humbled, but I'll explain more on that later.
Okay. But yeah, so this episode in particular begins with the narrator saying that Ash's goal is to battle Leon, one of the world's greatest trainers, and Go's goal is to catch every single Pokemon in the entire world, including Mew. So this means that Ash's goal is way more realistic than Go's because, let's face it, with all the types of Pokemon out there, you are going to be there for a very, very, very long time. Say nothing about evolving them.
Yeah, sorry, Go. You are going to be... I mean, you're doing a good job so far, but, yeah, best of luck with the legendaries, buddy. You're going to be there for a while.
Definitely. But the narrator says that this is their journey through the world of Pokemon as their teams show up, and right off the bat, we get an adorable moment from Dragonite before the episode itself really begins, because she hugs Lucario as he looks on in confusion. And like I said, that is such a cute moment, yo.
This, honestly, is what makes Ash's Dragonite, out of every other Dragonite in the series, the most unique. Like, from the get-go, from the moment Ash found her, she never once stopped being lovable, kind, yet ultimately strong and determined. Like that pretty much is a reflection of Ash for the most part, because he's strong, determined, yet kind and very bright-hearted, as it were. Like I get Ash's Dragonite is a little more innocent, as it were, like a little less willing to fight, but still willing to fight altogether. But yeah, this right here absolutely is what makes Ash's Dragonite a winner in my book in more ways than one.
Yeah, I definitely can see that, you know. But what happens in the episode itself basically begins with Ash getting a letter from Unova, as he wonders who it could be from. Right off the bat, we actually got a really funny moment with Surfetch using his leek sword to slice it open. Then he smugly smirks at Ash after doing so, and again,
there. easy,
Sure.
easy, Surfetch. Like,
sure,
geez, I know you're trying to help out, but careful you don't behead your frickin' trainer while you do that.
yep. But it turns out the letter is from Iris, who was trained to be a dragon master, which, if she wants to be a dragon master, all she had to do is join the Discord server.
Nice.
I do like how we get a little photo flashback that shows Iris, Ash, and Ceylon in a flashback, as well as their Pokemon playing together. It's kind of a cute little way, and it's interesting how it does it in the more modern art style compared to the art style they used for that season, but it works.
I agree.
Yep. The letter then goes on to say that Iris wants an official battle with Ash and that she's part of the Great Class. Ash asks Pikachu if he's excited too, as Pikachu excitedly leaps in front of the camera and does an adorable face. And I'm sorry, any generation, any iteration, Pikachu is adorable. He is such a cute little guy. Even the new one with Captain Pikachu, he is so cute.
So much, yes.
Yeah,
That is absolutely one in my book.
definitely. Math?
And suddenly, Captain Pikachu has started sneezing uncontrollably. If you know, you know.
Nice.
Sure, nice one. But we then cut to the theme song, which is actually pretty decent, but it's probably not as iconic as like the ones in the first few seasons, at least for me. But it is pretty catchy, and again, the animation isn't too bad for it.
I agree.
I don't think it's definitely the worst theme song. I think the worst one is probably
Fun
from
fact.
like a. Oh, go ahead.
The Japanese opening has made it into an official game. It
Oh.
was in Masters for a short time.
Oh, that's cool. Also, I agree. Master, I agree. The second anime opening for freaking the series was definitely the weaker of the bunch, but it's still freaking amazing. I will say that much.
Definitely. So basically, what happens is the title card has Pikachu playing with Ash's hat in a really cute moment.
Nice.
More adorable Pikachu stuff. The narrator says that after receiving the invitation, Ash and Go went to Unova to battle Iris in Obelucid City. Excuse me. We get a really hilarious, quick little shot of Ash, Go, Pikachu, and Go's Grookey all pressed with their faces up against the window. That actually made me laugh pretty hard.
Nice.
You know, it's something that you did not really expect, but it really works out. So, when they arrive in the city, Ash and Go decide to split up as we cut to Go catching both a Panseer and a Panpour in quick succession. I do like the voice of the Pokedex here, and I also thought it was cool how they always gave it a different voice in like almost every other generation.
Yeah, different
Yeah.
models, different voices. That's always been my justification.
Yeah, that definitely
Indeed.
makes sense. But Grookey points out that there is a shadow in the tree as Go throws a Pokeball at it. It turns out the shadow is none other than Iris, who falls out of the tree and lands on the ground. Oh, go ahead, Angron.
This honestly parallels the one of the first episodes or so where Ash first meets Iris in the G5 anime, where he throws a Pokeball at Iris's head. And unlike that one where she gets immediately like pissed off, she's a little more lighthearted, which shows maturity, but is honestly still funny that it happened again. Which something nickel, something Phineas and Ferb, something Doofenshmirtz, something. We've done this before.
Yep. Sure, I definitely can see that. Sure. So, anyway, we then, basically what happens is Go then apologizes for hitting her, as Iris says it was no problem, because no one would have expected her to be in the tree, even though, as Angron just said, Ash did that in the early episode. But she then realizes that it's late and she has to get out of there. Now, to get out of there, she starts swinging on vines, which must mean one thing. Iris is not only a dragon master, she is also Tarzan Girl. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, whoa, 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 da, da. Sorry, had to do that. Sorry if it sounds terrible, but...
Which is honestly fitting since Go has a Grookey, which evolves into Rillaboom, which is a gorilla. So, double
That is
joke.
also true. And also, another good laugh, at least from me, is what Go's shocked face and him saying, "Is she a Pokemon?" I think it's the way he's delivered and the facial expression they do for it. It really works out so well.
Yeah, they really improved since the Gen 1 anime.
To be fair, if you look from the back of her hair, it does look like a shape of a Punch Crow's like design, like how long it is. It would fit like a Pokemon from the back.
I definitely can see that.
Yeah,
It definitely does
It
make
also
sense.
looks a little bit like a Zoroa, weirdly enough.
Yep. So, anyway, what happens next is that basically Ash is standing outside of the gym, which frankly has a really great design. I love how later seasons they would make these gyms so elaborate and ornate that it's like visual wonders just to walk through them.
I mean, to be fair, they did the same thing with the games, and I feel the games mostly did them better. Some exceptions vary. But yeah, I absolutely agree that the anime did the gyms a lot better for the most part than what the games did.
Yep. I definitely can see that. But what happens next is that basically Ash notices an Axew, and he thinks that it's Iris's, but it turns out to belong to Drayden. Now, at least for me, because this is actually, I haven't seen the anime in a long time, the first thing I thought of when I saw Drayden's design is he kind of reminded me of Shredder from Ninja Turtles with the beard. You know, tonight I dine on Pikachu soup.
Oh,
sorry.
I died
Dear God.
Turtle soup.
That too. And Ditto would be crying.
Yeah. You fell for my diversion. I have a surprise for you.
Oh, God.
No surprise, I was able to pull that off despite still somewhat being sick.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, you did a great job there. But anyway, what happens is Go arrives and he tells Ash what happens as Ash introduces him to Drayden. Drayden turns out to be both the gym leader and the president of the Opie Lucid Academy, as well as Iris's mentor.
Also, the mayor of Opaloosid City, according to lore.
Mhm.
Also, he's voiced by Mike Pollock, which means he is basically voiced by Eggman.
Also, he wrestles his Pokemon. That's canon.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Well then.
I love this guy already.
That is so cool.
His title is literally the Spartan Mayor. How more badass can you get?
I know, right?
God. He really needs more love then, because wow, that is just so badass.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what happens next is that, basically is that Ash's Rotom phone goes off, indicating that it's time for the battle to begin. We then cut to Ash running down a temple hallway, and the first time I watched this, basically I thought to myself, no, Ash, you're going to the Cephalod Lodge by mistake.
Nah.
It's a giant albino eel. Roar! Roar! Just when I thought they couldn't get stupider. Classic. But the trio then go into a dark room before Iris's Emolga appears to light up the entire room, and just like Pikachu, Emolga is also just completely adorable. They're such a cute little guy.
Yes, nice.
Yep. Iris then shows up, wearing an elaborate dress, as Drayden tells them that Iris is now the champion of Unova, much to Ash and Go's shock. Go then realizes who Iris is and apologizes to her before Ash greets Iris with, in another adorable Pikachu moment, of which there are a lot of, he climbs on her shoulders and he nuzzles her, and then Pikachu and Emolga nuzzle each other as sparks literally fly between them. I mean, come on, how can you not love that?
Yes. Also, what happens later is when Ash and Iris are having a little bit of banter, and Iris evolves into basically saying, And like a freaking child, like the hypocrite that she is, Pikachu and Emolga are just like, oh, good lordy, this again. Which I absolutely feel like, good lordy. Some things never die, and that is certainly one of them, which I both like for this episode and don't like in terms of post-war flashbacks to the G5 anime.
I get you with that.
Yeah, I definitely understand it too. But what happens is Iris is so happy to be a champion, like Angron just mentioned, as Drayden explains that she also met with many dragon trainers and dragon types, and apparently she basically became a champion by accident? Almost.
Okay. I mean, there's accidentally getting overpowered, and then there's bullshit like that. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it like challenging all of it to a fight and accidentally winning.
No, I can definitely say that. Matt, you were saying?
Well, the way it's explained is that in her journey to become the greatest dragon trainer, she ended up becoming the champion. There's the accident to make herself better, to more suited to dragons. She ended up winning the championship of the region.
Indeed.
I see. But yeah, definitely makes a lot of sense. So anyway, what happens next basically is that despite her status, Iris also wants to become a dragon master. I do like the part where Ash and Iris basically argue over who is more childlike, with Pikachu and Emolga's reaction of "not this again" being hilarious.
Literally what I just said.
Yeah, it's just it's just I'm rewarding it like that. Sorry about that.
All
but
good.
Okay. But anyway, basically what happens is Ash decides that this battle should be Dragon type versus Dragon type as he calls out his Dragonite. And here we go. The reason we're talking about this, that Ash is Dragonite, because Dragonite is already an absolutely adorable Pokemon, but this one takes that factor and just cranks it up to 11. And for those of you wondering, Ash's Dragonite is confirmed to be female because there was a game event where you could end up getting her as a part of your team, and if you look at the stats, she is confirmed a female.
Yeah. Also, first thing she does when she gets out of her Pokeball, legit hugs Iris. Like, good lordy, could this Dragonite be any more of a freaking sweetheart?
Yeah,
she absolutely tackles Iris.
Yeah. I want a freaking dragon like that to do that. Like, do a tackle hug for the most part.
Yes.
Oh, man.
To refresh people's memory, Ash literally caught this Dragonite when he and Go went to a Dragonair island where there's a bunch of Dragonairs, and one Dragonair could not fly, and it was this poor little one, a female, and they had to do a huge thing where Dragonair saves Ash after they helped it get to be airborne, and it evolved into Dragonite. And literally, this thing is just like so cute and soft and huggable. Like its personality changed from evolving into Dragonite. Was this huggable, loving character?
Yeah, interesting fact about that, actually. That's a confirmed thing in the Pokedex. Rumor has it that there's an island full of Dragonair and Dragonite, which Ash and Go found. So, theory confirmed. Ta-da!
Yeah, that's true. Like I said, it's a whole episode that goes like, oh, I heard about a Dragonair or Dragonite island. Let's go for it. And they go and set this out. Even though,
hey, buddy, I heard you like Dragonite.
Yeah, he made a huge mistake. They were fighting over a stupid Dugong. He won him. He like, oh, wait, I'm out of Pokeballs. It's because of one Dugong. Which every trainer knows, if you waste your Pokeball on one certain creature, it's going to be like, oh, yeah, you waste all your Pokeball on me. Bye.
Nice.
Nailed in that episode, but I don't care. We got Dragonite. Also, math.
Yes.
So what I liked about this is typically when Dragonite is released from her Pokeball, she does the tackle hug to someone, typically Ash. Here, when she does it to Iris, Iris actually does just lean into it and then reverses it so that she ends up tackle hugging Dragonite as well. That is something that never happens and perfectly shows just how much Iris loves dragons.
I feel that. I absolutely would do the same thing in her shoes.
Yeah. I was just about to say, I just love how basically she's just such a cute softie. And again, the fact that Iris basically hugs her back also shows that shows how really adorable it is. And there's a really cute touch here. If you notice, Dragonite's antennae form a heart in this sequence.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that is
That is
adorable.
so cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I already love this episode for the fact that Ash's Dragonite is in it, but the fact that Iris matures in that way and the fact that she actually shows love for Pokemon, that okay, this episode has won me. This is an absolute 10 out of 10. no
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
Agreed.
Math?
And another thing is that I'm not sure if this is proper canon or if this was a translation thing, but Iris did confirm that Dragonite is very soft as well. So I'm assuming that Dragonites in lore are not like scaly hard. They're actually like soft, not fuzzy soft, but soft to the touch.
Yeah,
That
scaly
is very
soft is
true.
yeah,
Yep.
scaly soft is the term you're looking for. Soft and scaly, like the reluctant dragon.
Sure. Yeah, in a way, kind of. You can really kind of make that connection if you want. But basically, Ash says that Pikachu's job in this battle is to just cheer them on, as Pikachu looks very annoyed at this. Another funny moment.
Yep.
Ash, Iris then looks deep into Dragonite's eyes as Drayden explains that Iris can actually basically read the emotions of dragon types. Iris says that Dragonite is both strong and very, very sweet before telling her to try her best, and I really love Dragonite's little nod at this. Is also a really sweet moment.
Yes, and the whole time she does it, you hear this,
Yeah,
like,
very.
like she gives the Dragonite gives the most adorable freaking noises. I swear.
Yeah,
Unless they're cute and nice compared to Iris's Dragonite.
Yeah, fuck
It's not
Iris's
how we
Dragonite.
roll.
Good lordy.
yeah,
get
and we're
to
gonna
that
get
in
to
a
them in a couple seconds. Yep. But what happens next is Go then points up to the Rotom drone as he tells Ash that it's been there this entire time. The
Yep.
Rotom says that the battle between Ash and Iris will use 2 Pokemon in this battle, as both Ash and Iris say that they'll win. I do like how the Rotom drone kind of reminds me a little bit of the announcer from Pokemon Stadium. I wonder if it was a little intentional reference.
Oh man,
Probably.
now I'm getting freaking stadium flashbacks.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
it
strike
makes
fighting
sense,
poses.
but-
Go ahead, Jordan.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense why they would use a Rotom drone from the stadium, which we've all seen and probably made a lot of complaints. Like, oh, why don't they use like a Rotom, which Rotom's a legendary Pokemon it's been using for every electronic.
Rotom is not legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, at this point, Rotom has lost its mythical
It's
status.
never been legendary.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
can kind of
more
see
It's only
that.
common.
just Ash the one.
true.
Yep,
yeah.
I definitely can
But,
see
like,
that.
But like starting from like Gen 6, you can just like they've never been legendary Pokemon ever.
Yep,
Mm.
I definitely can see that. But it makes sense. But anyway, basically what happens is that Ash sends out his Dragonite while Iris also sends out one. And unlike Ash's Dragonite, which is sweet and kind and lovely, this one is really a mean jerk type. Like, imagine like a Charizard in Indigo League times 10, and that's kind of what the vibe with this guy is.
Yeah, honestly, like even compared to the more edgier Dragonites, like Lance's Dragonite from Generations, this one, like, good lordy, was this one definitely a heel turn in
Sure.
terms of Dragonite. Like, this one's edgy and absolutely just freaking intense. Like, it's seen some shit, and it absolutely will let everyone know that by beating the shit out of them. Like, good
Yeah.
lordy. This is the worst Dragonite I've seen, period.
Yeah, I definitely could see that. And basically for me, of course, this Dragonite number 1 is also confirmed male, so thankfully we do not have to count this one on the Dragoness Scale, because...
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And basically, it lets out a sneer as Ash's Dragonite is scared of him. Basically, what it reminds you of the episode of SpongeBob with the salty spittoon. Hey there, man. I'm a drifter. Just came out of town. Nice try, kid. I know what to do. Hey there, everybody. I believe my hairdo is in order. And it's kind of like that with the fake SpongeBob, and then real SpongeBob walks in the sequence.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, well, not like that, but like the
Hi,
other
how
one. Not like that one, but like the other one. But still, it's pretty good.
No,
But
I know what you're talking about.
yep, it's all good. It's all good. But basically, we then get to the rest of the episode, which really interestingly for this show, it is literally just the rest of the battle. There's no distractions. Team Rocket doesn't show up to interrupt, and Ash gets a badge by doing some sort of non-battling related reason. No, for the rest of this, like a 15-minute runtime of the show, it is just a Pokemon battle, and it's a really well animated one too. I mean, you could tell that the way this battle is done here is so much more impressive compared to how it used to be done earlier on, where it was just like Pokemon jumps up in front of a bunch of colored lines and does their attack in front of the camera. No, this battle, they actually affect each other, and it is so cool. Let's see, Angron first. What do you want to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Not only is the battle visually spectacular to look at, the movements here feel intense. You feel every blow. And starting from Gen 6 onwards, the effects definitely look amazing, especially for the era. Also, there was something else I was going to say, but I forgot it. But
Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Step aside, Gen 1. This is where the real fun begins.
Yeah,
Also,
definitely. Go ahead.
So what happened was the previous series, the Sun and Moon one, they sort of removed a bunch of events and told it in a bit of a non-linear fashion. So you weren't like, oh, we had to go to all the gyms in this order, like the game. They did it more in a semi-episodic way, which is why they were allowed to focus on episodes that were just pure battles and things like that, and they upped that in this series as well. And plus the battle increased budget that they were given for previous series, which added up into things like this to make this have some of the best battles in the entire show's history.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Easily. Yeah, this definitely is so elaborate. And let's talk about it right now, because the battle begins with Iris telling her Dragonite to use Dragon Rush, as Ash tells his Dragonite to use Hyper Beam. However, Ash's Dragonite gets smacked before she can use her Hyper Beam, as Iris's Dragonite, the way it's done with the Dragon Rush, it's basically him smashing into her, picking her up, and throwing her onto the ground. And, like I say, it's a pretty good moment that just shows, again, how much the battling has changed and that you feel the impacts of it, you know?
Yes, I feel so freaking sorry for her in this. Like, she's up against an intense Dragonite, and she's just like, "Oh shit, what do I do? Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Well-
rough seeing her like that." But she's a tough girl; she can take it.
Well, to be fair, Iris did get caught her Dragonite before this one was even a thought. So, and again, it was like how Charizard was. It was kind of like, oh, Ash trained him poorly, and this was a wild, strong Dragonite that Iris thought, like, oh, I could totally tame this one. No, she had to go through her own journey to bond with this Dragonite. And to be fair, he is very indeed strong to a point that, okay, this Dragonite has been through a lot. It's like, okay, this is my territory, whatever. This is his thing. He's showing this weak, soft Dragonite, oh yeah, I'm stronger than you because I'm a male. But
You're
he's
in my house,
underestimated
bitch.
by the
Now
female
bend over.
Dragonite.
Oh wait.
Okay. Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
again,
Yeah,
he
that
didn't
took a turn.
underestimate that Ash's Dragonite has some moves up her sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to get to that. But before that, we actually get kind of a mini cliffhanger as we cut to the Who's That Pokemon segment, which kind of was a really pleasant surprise they brought it back, which,
Yep.
pretty nice. And they actually did a little bit of animation with Pikachu looking confused over who it could be, and it's always such a cute touch when they do it.
Yeah.
The Pokemon turns out to be Emolga, which is kind of surprising that it's not Dragonite or Haxorus, because they play a lot more into the plot than Emolga.
I mean, to be fair, like I think they did that because like Emolga was like the one who introduced Iris, so I'll give that a pass.
Yep, it could make sense, yep. But basically when we cut back to it, what happens is we see that Dragonite is okay and she's lying on top of Ash. Ash is a very lucky guy there.
Yeah. Nice.
But he asks if Dragonite is alright as she agrees and gets up and then growls. Go is amazed at basically how fast Iris Dragonites move, and Drayden basically explains that the male Dragonite has always had an anger issue and eventually learned to have a more controlled fighting style after working with Iris for such a long time.
Did.
Yep. Basically, what happens next is Ash tells his Dragonite to use Dragon Claw, but Iris is countered with Thunder Punch. And again, the effects of the fighting are some of the best parts of this, easily. And what happens with this is that this move manages to push both of them back a few paces. Ash has his Dragonite use Hurricane as she flaps her wings and hovers in the air to do so. Iris's Dragonite attempts to use Ice Beam, but in a moment that's pretty cool, the hurricane causes the attack to miss, and what happens is it ends up ripping a giant hole in the ceiling, as basically everyone is shocked over, oh god, what did we do? And Iris actually goes so far as to stop the battle and asks, oh, what have we done? In a moment that actually got a good laugh out of it, because yeah, that would happen in a Pokemon gym.
Yes. Also, I hear that moment and saw that moment, and I could think of that moment from the Sonic Boom cartoon where Styx returns a missile from one of Eggman's missile silos, and like Eggman to his base, like, I know that sound. Uh-oh. And like I imagined that, but with the freaking Pokemon move, while like that battle's going on, the aftermath of that attack, the ice beam going up in the air, falling straight down on Eggman's base. Like, good lordy.
Oh, that is great. I can definitely picture that happening.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, what happens next, basically, is that I like how Drayden's response is basically, oh, don't worry about it, it's okay. And then the battle just instantly continues, like he's been through this 5,000 times before.
I mean, he is a gym leader, so he's bound to have had that happen at least several times in his life.
Yep. But what happens is Iris's Dragonite uses Dragon Rush yet again, as Ash's Dragonite attempts to use Dragon Claw, but Iris's Dragonite is too fast and smashes into Ash's, basically weakening her. Dragonite is basically still strong enough basically to stand, as Ash recalls her and calls out Dragovich. And Dragovich is really just hilarious. He's such a funny guy, but yet also he's really powerful, and I think they did a good job with his characterization as well. In a hilarious moment, Dragovich starts chewing on Ash's head as soon as he's called out, which, hey Ash, I guess you know how James felt with Weeping Bell.
Yeah,
Right.
also technically, Dragonite's tackling hug on Ash is pretty much sort of Weezing and a bunch of other Pokemon's tackle stuff on James. Like, good lordy. Oh yeah, also Marini freaking poisoning James's head.
That too. But what happens basically is, this is probably one of the funniest moment for me in the episode, is Iris's Dragonite has a complete, what the fuck, expression on his face. It is so hilarious, just the way he just looks at, like, so disgusted at, like, what is going on, you know? Like,
Yeah.
And this is also contrasted with Iris's reaction over how cute and adorable Dragovich is. You have her basically saying, oh, it's so unique, it's so cute. And Iris's Dragonite is like, what the hell is going on here?
Bitch, are you looking at the same thing I'm looking at right now? Because right now, I'm looking at a fucking shit show. That's what.
Yep. Meth?
It was in that moment, though we may have disliked him, the male Dragonite became our audience surrogate.
Exactly.
Nice.
Iris basically has her Dragonite use Dragon Rush yet again, but Ash uses a Vicious Rend, which casts Dragonite's head in Dragovich's mouth. Iris tries telling Dragonite to use Thunder Punch, but he doesn't do anything because, again, his head is in Dragovich's mouth. He can't hear anything.
Yeah, how does it feel now, boy?
Yep.
You're in Dracovich's house now, and all
Yep.
he's doing is like, oh, this one tastes good.
Yeah. But Ash has Dragovich use Ice Fang, which actually ends up freezing Dragonite, and a really nice touch. It's something they didn't have to animate, but the fact that they did just shows how much they cared about this. When Dragonite is launched out of Dracovich's mouth and basically smashes onto the ground, the ice around him actually shatters.
Dang.
Like I said, that is actually a really, really cool moment right there, you know? That they actually went so far as to animate something as little as that. They could have easily just, had him turn blue, but they actually animated ice around him and had it be destroyed.
Indeed.
Yep. But what happens is, of course, Rotom says that Iris's Dragonite is unable to continue battling, and Iris is shocked at how quickly her Dragonite was defeated.
Yeah.
But it turns out all is not good for Ash, because she quickly recovers and sends out her second Pokemon, which turns out to be Haxorus, the evolved form of Araxew. And Go uses his Pokedex on as Haxorus roars, and Ash realizes that Haxorus is the evolved version of Iris's Axew, as see a photo flashback of them again.
Yeah.
Yep. And like I say, it is really cool how they actually managed to bring back a character in its like fully evolved form, and again, it actually is shown to be like a real threat.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of
Oh, go ahead.
funny. Also, it's also kind of neat that the baby Axew that we saw in G5 grew up into a semi-serious, more stronger version of what it used to be, and yet it does not lose any of its personality for the most part. Like, this is a Dragonite who, no, sorry, Axorus, who is a very stark contrast to the Dragonite that Iris has.
Yeah, like I say, I definitely can see that. But what happens basically next is that Haxorus shows just how powerful he is because he ends up using Dragon Pulse, which is far, far faster than Dracovich's attempt at using Water Gun. She then follows it up with Haxorus using Psycho Cut, which basically causes Dracovich to faint in only 2 moves.
Hot damn, it has come so far.
Like you can definitely see how she became a champion. She's able to strategize like that because she basically points out that she realized Dracovich's mouth is its weak point, so he used Haxorus because Dracovich could not go near Haxorus due to Haxorus's body. And again, that shows just how clever she is, and I do like that. I like that characterization that they actually gave her here.
I agree. Like, hands down, like Dragonite, Haxorus getting stronger, especially after G5 and whatnot. It really goes to show how far Hyris has come and how far Axorus has come as characters, and I really do appreciate the show for doing that, especially with what Gen 5 did to them in the past.
Oh, easily. So what happens next, basically, is that Ash is forced to send out Dragonite, his one remaining Pokemon, as Drayden points out that Dragonite is still weakened from the first battle, while Haxorus is still at full health. Ash has Dragonite do Dragon Dance. Unfortunately, the Dragon Dance is not like Ludmilla's dance in the real Ludmilla, although that would look way, way better, for us at least.
It looks pretty cool, though, and it pops up freaking Dragonite, so that's a plus.
Yep, how it's animated is basically her taking to the air and spinning around rapidly in that. Iris has Haxorus use Outrage as it swipes and slashes at Dragonite, knocking her back a few paces. Go reminds Ash that Outrage causes a Pokemon to become confused, which actually does happen in the games, and this is the one moment that actually kind of floored me, because in a Great Touch, the effects of the confusion are exactly like how it is done in the games, with the little yellow birds swirling around the Pokemon's head that is confused. The fact that they actually took that amount of effort to copy the games in that way, while still having it be visually appealing, is something else, you know? Go ahead on Math.
Your big thing was you were really impressed that they actually animated Ice to show the frozen status, or with Ice Fang. This was mine. I really like the very small, kind of goofy details that they'll actually put in from the game with the confusion tweeting birds.
Yeah, I agree. They absolutely didn't need to do this for confusion, but they did, and I'm really glad they did. It's also very clever what else they did when freaking Haxorus slammed its head to the ground to break the confusion, which is something that can actually help for a time break confusion and or fatigue, like a concussive method to actually break away the confusion and get back to normal. And 2, that also ties into something that ties into the friendship mechanic, where freaking Pokemon who have high friendship will break away status inflictions and hang on with 1 freaking HP, which is very much shown here.
The similar tactic was also used by Gladion in Sun and Moon, of biting itself to get rid of confusion.
That is pretty edgy. I forgot about that.
I definitely can see that. Wow. But basically, what happens next is this moment actually it's both awesome and it's hilarious at the same time. Haxorus basically just slams his head into the ground, and that just removes the effects of confusion. Literally, he just head slams his head in the ground, and it's like, okay, all better. And it's like, I think what's so funny is he doesn't even take damage from that. It's like basically punching himself in the face, and it's like, okay, all good here.
Yeah, it's like freaking Festro from Secret Mountain Fort Austin freaking punching himself. I feel something. It's love! And I'm like, okay, you do you, man.
But what happens is Go and the others are shocked at this, and Drayden said it's because all of the hard work Iris has done that Haxorus is able to do that, which is kind
Okay.
of a yep. Let's just say there was no hit yourself in confusion and then snap out of confusion immediately in the games. Let's put it that way.
I mean, the most you would get is a shake yourself off and like get back in the fight with stuff like the friendship mechanic. But here, fuck that shit. Concussive method. I'm back in the game, baby.
Yep. But basically, what happens is Dragonite lets out a cry as Ash says that they will not lose. We then get a moment that is probably the sweetest moment of the episode, and this, for me, cemented just how adorable Dragonite is. Basically, Iris approaches Dragonite and talks to her as they have a heart-to-heart together. Iris tells Dragonite to relax and is impressed with how much she cares for Ash. She then tells Dragonite about how she is so sweet and tells her a story about how Axie was timid, but the more it battled, the stronger it got, and it increased the bonds between each trainer and their Pokemon. She tells Dragonite that basically when you battle, have fun above everything else because it's basically the memories you share that become important and the bonds between them, which this is such a sweet thing, you know? It really, really is a sentiment that, let's just say, it's not new for Pokemon. I mean, heck, you could even make the case that the first movie is basically this scene, but at the same time, it just has such a sweet, understated quality to it, you know?
Indeed. But I will say this about it. How
go
they
ahead.
go about doing it is kind of weird. Like, on the one hand, I get it. Iris is trying to be a dragon master, and her connecting with the hearts of dragons, that's pretty good. The other hand, all I could think of that scene was, when did Iris learn the Force, or at most Aura? Because, like, I see her hold out her hand and glowing, and all I could think of was, like, what's going on here? Other than, like, doing a heart-to-heart in the most Star Wars / Kung Fu Panda 3-esque way I can imagine it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matt?
Meth?
This is one of the benefits that I was talking about when I said that they had removed requiring following the game path and just more went their own way. Because they now can focus the episodes on whatever they want, they have more time to do stuff like this, and it's very nice to see these soft, quiet moments in the middle of a battle that you would not have had the time for had they been following purely the game's path and had to keep going like that.
I agree, even though it can be a little weird, in my opinion. It's not bad, that's for sure, but yeah, it can definitely be weird.
Yeah, I can see that too. But what happens basically is that it really, for me, shows how adorable Dragonite truly is and how she basically listens to Iris and she lets out another little roar of determination and her little smirk when Ash asks if Iris said something to her. Such a cute little moment. Iris says a wink and she says basically our conversation is between us and Ash asks Dragonite if she's ready to continue. She nods in agreement and it's here where Ash's Dragonite proves that she's not only adorable, soft little cuddle girl, she's also a total badass because what happens is Haxorus uses Breaking Swipe, but Dragonite manages to use Dragon Claw, and she actually catches his attack in her arms as the two break away from each other. Now this
Yeah.
on its own... Oops, so good.
Yeah, this is definitely the moment where Ash's Dragonite 100% goes all out here. Like, I know she's like not weak. I know she's also not too strong either. But moments like this, where she actually like gets it together for the most part and wins, like that is hands down one of my favorite things about Ash's Dragonite. She's a sweetheart, but when she wants to get serious, boy does she get serious.
Oh, easily. So, but what happens next basically is that Haxorus then uses Psycho Cut again, but Ash has Dragonite use Hurricane on herself, which ends up creating a barrier around her and prevents Haxorus' attack from hitting her. Much to basically what happens then is Iris in another moment where I have to admit I kind of liked Iris here. I mean, maybe if I saw like if I basically went and rewatched the earlier season she was in, maybe I could get why she'd be a little annoying. But for her, just isn't taken in a vacuum in this episode. She's a pretty good character because I like her cheering on basically that Dragonite's having fun and she's happy about it, and Ash is just confused. Like why is she like that?
I mean, to be fair, if you saw her in the original generation, I doubt you'd be in a lighter mood about her in the here and now. But I will say this: Journeys definitely was a huge update for her, especially since she not only got humbled, but she also got stronger and more or less wiser, even if she can still be somewhat of a hypocrite. Not too much, but again, that's what G5 is for.
Yep, I can see that. But basically, what happens next is then Haxorus then uses Dragon Pulse as Dragonite begins spinning faster. He basically sucks up the attack into the hurricane, where it's launched into the sky and creates storm clouds, which is, yes, folks, Dragonite can affect the weather. So take that, cast form.
Yeah, sucker cat form. Zubeya over here, meanwhile, is like, I'm sorry, when could you do this?
Yeah, she would fit pretty good in the Pokemon world, let's be real.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she
But-
would.
Yep, but what happens is the energy from the Dragon Pulse then forms together as Dragonite suddenly learns a brand new move. She then learns Draco Meteor, and she instantly uses it as Iris attempts to have Haxorus use Outrage yet again. However, the meteor pieces rain down on Haxorus, knocking him out and causing Iris to have no more usable Pokemon. Now, you might actually think that this was Dragonite's doing, but it wasn't. It was Bruce Willis, because he stayed behind and he detonated the bomb on the asteroid. Tell my wife, tell her I love her, my daughter, you'll always be with me. I don't want to close my eyes. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Bruh.
But-
Zubeya, meanwhile,
Yeah, it's just
I have taught you well.
But basically, Rotom says that Dragonite, being the last standing Pokemon, has won the battle, which means that Ash wins. And this is the moment that, again, I've been gushing about Dragonite so much, I think we all have, and let's be honest, we know she's going to get a really good score here, but I love how her immediate reaction to winning is instantly just to run up and hug him. That's like the innate first thing she does, and that is just so adorable again.
Absolute sweetheart. I want to
Exactly.
fucking hug her.
Same.
Fucking hug her.
If only she was in Indigo League, you know? If only. But basically,
Only.
yep. Basically, Go then cheers on Ash as Rotom says that there's been a change in the standings. Iris tells Haxor that she's proud of him and that they tried their best. It turns out that Ash's rank is 99, which puts him in the Ultra class as he is overjoyed. Now, in this continuity, being 99th place is a good thing, but if you're playing Tetris 99, you're absolutely terrible.
Basically, this ranking is following golf rules, and that the lower the score, the better your overall thing is going to be.
Yep, it's just making the thing there. But anyway, what happens basically is because of this, Ash is now in the Ultra class as he is overjoyed. Iris promises that they will battle again once she gets into the Ultra class as they shake hands together. The episode ends with the narrator saying that Ash will continue to battle the trainers in Ultra class as their journey continues.
Yep.
But this version of the anime, as mentioned earlier, would end with Ash finally being a Pokemon master. Basically, he is the ultimate champion upon champions. And it ends basically really sweetly with him and Pikachu deciding to discontinue his journey throughout the world with Pikachu by his side, you know? It is a really sweet ending, and I feel like if you were to wrap up Ash Ketchum's story, that's probably the best way you could have done it. It's kind of a shame there wasn't like a time skip or anything, but at the same time, I can kind of see why they didn't do that.
Indeed.
Because it's
Also,
like the... Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I will say this: the ending credits are pretty adorable. It's like Pikachu doing a dance and turning around, shaking his little tail, like Yamper, even Riolu reluctantly.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff.
It is adorable, yeah. Like I say, again, even the credits sequence, you can tell they definitely had a lot of fun basically working on this.
Oh, I agree.
Easily. But, yeah, like we said, basically, the Pokemon anime has been such a legendary thing, pretty much for all of our childhoods. I definitely say that everyone that's been in this podcast, or even listening, probably has some experience with it. So, basically, that leads to the question of the week, which is, what is your favorite Pokemon anime memories and moments? Now, I'll go first, and definitely I was a kid who grew up with, like, the original generation that I watched consistently, I think, until G4. I kind of fell off a little bit after that, which is kind of the opposite of my Little Pony experience, where I started watching during G4.
Nice.
But basically, for me, I feel like what it is if I had to pick like my favorite Pokemon anime like moments or memories, I'm not being like a whole nostalgia better thing because this episode really impressed me. Like this episode would be one of the best ones I think I've seen. But I will say this about the Pokemon anime with the memories. I liked the Indigo League probably best, not just because it was the first one, but because how many risks it took. Like this was the period of the anime where they basically were throwing anything against the wall to see what stuck. Like let's adapt an episode of let's make one of our episodes an adaptation of a Ray Bradbury short story. Okay, let's do an episode where we basically make fun of the Poseidon adventure. Okay, let's do an episode where it becomes basically like a Twilight Zone episode with Sabrina turning Ash's friends into little dolls and that. Okay, it feels like there's a uniqueness to it that I'm not saying the anime was bad, mind you, because let's face it, if it had episodes like this, it is so totally worth it. But it feels like there was a bit of like spark there that some of the later generations, especially during like the mid period of Johto, where it kind of got bogged down with filler, it kind of lost its luster a little bit. I am so glad that they picked themselves up, though. I'm not saying that the only the Indigo League is good, then don't watch anything else. I'm not saying that, but it just feels like I don't know. With the Indigo League, it felt like they had like I think a novelty to it. Basically, it was like we don't know what we're gonna do with this, so let's do anything we can with it. And
Everything.
exactly. And like the examples I said earlier, they were not afraid to get weird. And I have a really big respect for shows that basically are gonna say, you know what? Let's just do anything weird that we can. Let's throw everything against the wall to see what sticks, and let's see how it goes.
Also, hi, Shark.
Oh, hey there. You came at the right time, buddy.
Huh. We're in the question of the week now.
Yes, we are. Yep.
Just in time.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, so that's going to be my pick for my ones. Also, I have to say this. Orange Islands are extremely underrated. That is definitely going to be my second choice because I like, again, because they didn't have basically the Johto League to work with. They basically had to do everything on the fly just to keep the show running, and I think they did a pretty good job with it being unique in that. Now, granted, Tracy being there instead of Brock was a huge shame, and they should not have done that, but you can kind of see why they did it, and it's an experiment that did not work. But all in all, it's one that I think really does work out for the best. So, yeah, that's going to be my pick for my favorite Pokemon anime moments. It's going to be basically going back as a kid and watching the Indigo League and just being like with childlike wonder of it, because again, I actually saw the anime I think before I watched the games, and finding out there was like a whole video game series based on your cartoon and it's really good is like mind blowing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be my pick. Let's see, Angron, what would your favorite Pokemon anime memories or moments be?
Ooh, that's a good one because on the one hand we got the fricking Latios and Latios movie with all its quirks, with Latios kissing. Sorry, it doesn't have any legs, so it can't kick. Like good. Now I'm just imagining Latios kicking Ash in the balls. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
But in all seriousness, like it's Latios kissing
Nice.
Ash. Latios sacrificing itself to save the entire town. Latios flying off at the end with the babies. All that stuff. However, I think for the memories, I am going to have to say freaking. I'm gonna have to say two things. One is playing Pokemon Emerald. Like every moment I could, I would play that game, and I mainly played it with Swampert because I was a dumb kid at the time and didn't really think leveling up my other Pokemon would be a good idea. I just stuck with one Pokemon and I was like, go! And when it died, I was like, oh shit, what do I do? And then the second one would basically be playing Pokemon X because at the moment I got Pokemon X and Y, or no, not Y, X, just X. I played that a lot. Like I picked Fennekin as my starter, which yes, it absolutely carried, even though it was kind of sucky against what's his name from the Solage gym. Oh, Grant,
Okay.
that's who it was. However, what made that moment amazing to me was the fact that when I went up against Diantha, I used Delphox to fight her final ace Pokemon, Gardevoir. Now, interesting thing about this is that this was where the Pokemon and me friendship really came in the clutch, because like I used freaking Fire Blast on Gardevoir. It did a lot of damage and it burned it, but then Gardevoir decided to use Shadow Ball or whatever on me, and thanks to that me, I held on by 1 freaking point, and that burn came in clutch, defeating Diantha's Gardevoir and winning me the Kalos League, hands down.
Nice, nice. And yeah, another proof how awesome Gardevoir is if we needed more. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
seriously, like that was a clutch moment, and I absolutely love it. It shows not only how far I've come in terms of being like a Pokemon lover and Pokemon gamer as well, but it also shows how far Pokemon has come when mechanics like that help carry me throughout the game and make it fun regardless of that.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely is. So
So yeah,
that's a
those are gonna
really
be those are gonna be my memories.
awesome. So let's see who's next. Let's see. Matt, what would your favorite Pokemon anime moments or memories be?
Oh, talking about
I've
anime.
mentioned in previous episodes, I am the old hat of the group, and I remember the very first episode that aired in America, which was, had I known then that this was going to be as big as it was, would have been wild to me as a kid. My favorite all-time memory, though, is actually one of the more recent ones. Seeing Ash win the World Coronation Tournament,
Nice.
seeing Life's Eternal Loser win and achieve his dream of becoming a Pokemon Master. Had I not grown up with the anime and watched so long and just 20 odd years been with this character, it would not have had that kind of impact. It is something that, if you have seen most of, if not all, the animes and just gone through all of this one character's journey for 2 decades, that hits you a lot harder than you would think.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I'm gonna change my answer to the every moment from Generation 6 to 8. Like those moments where Ash won were peak, and I felt excited because this is the guy who got freaking slammed down, and then later was starting to win more and more as time went on, and I love that.
I was surprised about that in the episode. I'm just sitting there like, wait, Ash won something?
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, he won? Oh shit, he won?
Yep.
How does that
Right.
work?
Yep, and like I say, it really felt like it was a good ending because, again, it's like a full circle kind of thing. Like, he lost the Indigo League, and everyone was shocked at that because, let's face it, back then, kids' media would have, like, the underdog. They trained, and they tried real hard, and they won. And the fact he didn't win an Indigo League was probably more realistic, too, but... yeah, that is a great answer right there because, again, I think everyone was, like, in total shock that they actually did go through with it.
Yes, they didn't puss out.
You
Yep.
fool! You mess with the natural order!
Oh, Sir Raven, if only you knew.
But no one asks what happens to Sir Raven ever. Cheese whiz pouring out of his freaking armpits.
Who cares? They all bore me to tears. The end. Oh, classic. But yeah, that's a great choice right there. Let's see. Stryker, what would your favorite Pokemon anime memories or moments be?
Jeez. I mainly remember from Indigo League and Diamond and Pearl personally.
Nice.
Nice.
Mainly Indigo League since I have it on Blu-ray.
Nice.
I think I'll have to go with just watching the first episode as well, to be honest, because like it was a really good start to the series. Same with the second episode too, actually, because that one was also really good.
I'll bet.
All good. All good.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's see who's next. Let's see. Okay. Shark, what would your favorite Pokemon anime memories or moments be?
Well, I remember that as a kid, I had a VHS with the first 2 episodes. And yeah, I like that a lot. And by extension, I think the early seasons of the anime are probably the ones I have the most memories because they are the ones I watched the more. And as I watched when I was a kid, I think that's that was when I was the most into like Pokemon. Like, oh, Pikachu, I love Pikachu. Oh, I'm gonna use Pikachu in Smash. I want a Pokemon plushie. I want a toy. Because yeah, nowadays I am not the biggest Pokemon fan. There's a lot of other video game franchises I will play over it, but yeah, during the early seasons I was like, it's like my peak of being a Pokemon fan, and I remember most of the episodes, like the boat, the island of giant Pokemon, the other trainer battles, like the episode with Pikachu. But yeah,
I'll
more
bet.
specifically because of the VHS, it should be the first 2 episodes I have the most fond anime memories from. So, and I don't know if you did mention it because I entered a little bit after your answer, Lud, but the early seasons were more out there compared to the later ones. Like the
Absolutely.
characters were allowed to do a lot of things that newer episodes probably will be more grounded per se.
Indeed.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like I said, I feel the exact same way that that again, the earlier seasons, I think they allow themselves to play with the format just a little bit more, but I think it's a show that remained good, or at least as same level of quality throughout, which again for a long-running show like that really is amazing when you really think about it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
and actually, the anime came here first before the game, so yeah, almost like you, I was like, oh, there's a game based on the show I watched rather than the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
I discovered the game soon after I found after I watched the anime, and it's like, it looks boring. Then I got Diamond. Then I got Pokemon Diamond. I ate my words.
Yeah, I got platinum, and like I never thought the games were boring, even when I was playing Emerald or Fire Red and whatnot. But like, yeah, honestly, the anime is definitely a step up from the games in terms of presentation and mechanics. Like,
Yeah,
good lordy.
Like
Kind of a shame.
it was because when I was a kid, I wanted to play as the Pokemon.
Yes.
And
Then
I
the
was
Stryker
like,
came along, and you could play as the Pokemon.
exactly.
exactly.
All the games, I was like, it looks boring. You can't even play as the Pokemon. And then I ate my words when I got Diamond. And it's like, what the fuck? These games are fun. Why didn't I play this before?
Why didn't you show me this before?
Sure. Nice. But yep, that's a really good one right there. So let's see who's next. Eevee, what would your favorite Pokemon anime memories and moments be?
Since I have not finished Journeys, it'll definitely have to be the yellow finals and the exhibition
Oh,
match.
hell yeah, I agree.
The what? Sorry, you're cut out for a second there.
Definitely the Manala Conference finals and the exhibition match.
I see. Any particular reason for that being your favorite?
They're just good battles.
Yeah. Also,
And, like, it's like Ash's first victory, like post Orange, like post Battle Duke.
Indeed. Also, I will say the freaking Charjabug and Vikavolt races, they were awesome. They remind me of the freaking Pinewood Derby that we did at Boy Scouts, and they were freaking amazing. You got freaking Charjabug driving through like deserts and whatnot, and you also got Vikabolts flying through like freaking pod racers. It's awesome.
Nice. So that's a really good one. And let's see, Eevee, not Eevee, sorry, Jordan, what would your favorite Pokemon anime memory and moments be?
Mine would have to be Indigo, the first one, where we find out more about James's past, like how he had to forced to be married to Jezebel, who is the exact image of Jesse. And we're like,
Oh, that was a classic one.
yes, but
Yeah.
you feel sorry for how he is and how his best friend and first Pokemon is a Growlithe named Growly, and you just see how sad that whole story for James and Growly is, which I'm like, why couldn't James just carry Growlithe with him? This is like a advantage for him. I feel bad that he's forced to marry Jezebel, who is a psychopath. I can see him just being with Jessie because she's toughen the strings too, but she cares in a way. Like we all see how she is with her Pokemon, like how she got rid of her Dustmoth to be in love, and we're like, okay, this is hurtful. Why couldn't Jessie just be with James? This is like a cute moment, and we see James's past more and more time over the years. How he has great Pokemon that he has. He had Growlithe, he had Coughing, he had Mr. Mine Jr. All these were great Pokemon for James. I mean, he chose a rotten life, but he is a goofy kid, and this whole scene with him, with his parents and Jezebel, I'm like, you not see that your son's miserable? We don't care. She's a wealthy person. She's a psychopath.
What is your thought process on this? Like, I mean, you're no Ragna Heroine. I forget her first name, bite me, but good lordy, like, you really need to think on what exactly you're doing here, people.
That's
also,
what I mean. That's
how
like you
they're
said at the end, like James's parents were, again, they're wealthy noblemen, and Jezebel is the same way. She's a wealthy aristocrat or something, and James was forced to be married to her. And she's a crazy psychopath who thinks to just be with James, who does not like her for one bit. He likes Jessie and herself, but not Jezebel.
Indeed.
Yep.
Also, freaking also freaking Vileplume, like freaking stunning them, and also the Ash's main gang.
Yeah, that just shows you how Jezebel is. She is a control freak compared to Jessie, who is like, she's got her crazy moments too, but she's not like a psychopath like Jezebel is.
Oh, good lordy. Now I'm just imagining Control Freak from Teen Titans, but it's Jezebel. You're like, greetings, Titans! Your number one villain is here! And the Titans are like, I'm sorry, who are you again?
Nice. But now it is time for the patent-pending Dragoness Scale, where we're going to rank Ash's Dragonite, and I foresee great things for her, so let's just start with my thing, which I'm going to come right out of the gate. I'm going to say it. I'm not going to dance around or, do anything like that. I'm going to come and say it. Perfect 10.
Yes.
I am small, but nope. I'm not small, but what I will say is that I am saying that Ash's Dragonite, perfect score. Perfect 10 out of 10. Dragonite as a whole has a fantastic design, and the fact that it took us this long to get a really good female one is kind of a shame, but hey, it was worth the wait. Her characterization is adorable, with her being such a sweet and kind, thing. I do like that, even though they have her being, sweet and kind and cuttable and that, she's still a really strong Pokemon when she wants to be too. Like, she really, carried the battle on her own, and she had some weak points at first, and Iris had to help her out, but the fact that she was able to do it almost single-handedly, take down a full-level Haxorus, is just such an awesome moment, and again, I just feel like she has zero flaws. Like, I mean, the only flaw I can think of is that it's a shame we didn't get to hear her talk, but I mean, that wasn't about to happen, so I mean, aside from that, perfect score. Absolute perfect score for me. I cannot think of anything, lesser of her at that point. And again, I don't give a 10 out of 10s too often, but she's just so good, She definitely deserves the perfect score. Let's see, Angron?
Keep that hype train rolling. 10 out of 10. I spoiled this at the beginning, so I'm going to spoil it. Do it again. 10 out of 10. She's sweet. She's strong. She's Ash's Dragonite, which means a lot coming from a person who definitely has been with the anime for quite some time, barring Gen 5. But yeah, she absolutely deserves that 10 out of 10 because everything Ash went through, he deserved this. He deserved this and Lucario. Like, there is no question that she's getting a 10 out of 10. She is the team mom, and I will die on that sword, hands down.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely can foresee her. Will she be the second character to get a perfect 10 sweep after Charmcaster? We can only speculate, but
Oh,
let's
boy.
see what happens. Math, what would you give her? No pressure, you
Keep
know.
that speculation going with another 10.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
I've always loved her character. She is just so kind, caring, the way that she hugs anyone and everyone, and how it's presented that she is just probably the nicest Pokemon that Ash has ever had. Her design is great. I've always loved the Dragonite designs in general, and hers just even looks cuter than the average Dragonite, which is really impressive that they were able to convey that just by visuals.
Yes.
She has great battles. She's surprisingly strong. I'd say easily the second or third most powerful Pokemon in Ash's team for this series. And she's just too damn lovable.
I agree.
Easily.
There's nothing wrong with her. And she gets a good amount of screen time whenever she's on.
Yeah, I agree.
Easily. And again, it really is the thing that makes you wonder, why wasn't she in this sooner, you know?
Yeah,
she I mean, Dragonite has been there since the first generation.
She would have swept Gen 1 if Ash got her during Gen 1. Then again, she also would have had to put up with Ash's Gen 1 blundering, but hey, no one's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. So in a way, it probably worked out for the best in that case. So let's see who's next. Stryker, what would you give her?
Let's keep this trainer rolling. 10 out of 10.
Ooh, nice. Any particular reason?
Oh, it's pretty much what everyone else is saying. And also, I have a soft spot for Dragonites. Always have since I discovered the internet. So,
This is the reluctant dragon of the Pokemon universe. How could anyone not love her?
Yep. It's reluctant dragon, but female, so I mean, you can't argue with that.
exactly. Who doesn't like female dragons?
Exactly. Well, we certainly don't have the podcast in any situation.
Exactly.
Classic. So let's see. Shark, what would you give her?
Yeah, let's keep going with this. I'm also giving her a 10 because pretty much what everyone has been saying. She's adorable, but she can also fight. In this episode she gets a lot of screen time, so that's nice. And I kind of like how the quote unquote flaw or problem she had was that she didn't want to disappoint Ash basically, so she puts others before herself. And
Yeah, she's no pushover, but she's very much a generous soul. Good lordy, I'm finding so many things to love about this Dragonite. Good lordy.
Definitely.
yeah, between all of that and the fact that I can't think of anything wrong with her, I can only give her a perfect 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Definitely can see that. So let's see who'll be next. Eevee, what would you give Ash's Dragonite?
Yeah, let's
now,
go 10.
No, I want you to be honest. I don't want you to do it because everyone else is doing it, you know?
I mean, I
Agreed.
do like her.
And seriously,
she is
yeah.
a good Pokemon. I
Okay.
really do need to finish Journeys though.
Yeah. I haven't seen the rest of the show, but if the rest of the battles are like this, it's definitely got to be a real feast for the eyes to definitely check it out.
Wait till you get to Ash versus Volkner.
I can imagine.
Also, Ash versus Leon. That was a crazy fight. Also, Cynthia.
Yep.
Well,
It's going to be really
so
awesome.
I'm just going with Ash versus Volkner. Ash versus B, the third time is also really good.
Yep, sounds good. And let's finish this off with Jordan.
Easy. 10 out of 10. Well, actually, no, I'm going to go up 1. 11.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay.
Because again, from all the Pokemon that Ash have had over the years, and there's so many different types, Dragonite, this female one, besides Snivy, and I think Bailey was a girl too, they were okay, but this Dragonite is a female. Again, we talk about how once she's out of her Pokeball, you could see she runs up to Iris and hugs her, and she does the same thing back with Dragonite. Or when the episode where Go has his Pokemon, the Swabble that cries, and Scyther and a Pinsir are ready to attack. Dragonite comes out of nowhere from the shadows and immediately hugs them together. They're like, oh, okay, this is nice.
Yeah.
The same thing. Even when Swabble is crying, you see Dragonite is
Yeah.
crying in tears. She picks up the Swabble in her arms, and you see him like all calm down and just loving how this Dragonite is like, okay, I'm here like a mother to everyone around her. This Dragonite is so special to Ash, even though, yes, she goes a little too far with the hugging, but this Dragonite is so special to Ash, how it just like, okay, I'm gonna do what I can to make Ash proud, not give up, and I see new people, new friends, I'm going to hug them instantly. This is what this Dragonite is, so I'm giving her 11 because how special this one is.
Team Mom. That is all I gotta say. Also, I think we just broke a record, people.
We
have
did. We did. Actually, the second one, believe it or not, the second one after Charmcaster.
Yep.
Oh.
So Ash's Dragonite is the second Pokemon to get a perfect score. So far, this is something for the ages because, well, other Dragonesses or female dinosaurs get a perfect 10 out of 10. It's been done once, it's been done twice. Can it be done a third time? We can only see.
Indeed. Like, good lordy. Like, this is a perfect plus. Not gonna lie.
Easily. But that's going to be it for this week. If you have any questions, or if you want to tell us what would happen if Ludmilla turned into a Dragonite, you can
Nice.
feel free to email us at fierydiscourse@outlook.com. Visit us on Twitter at twitter.com/fierydiscourse. Visit us on Blue Sky at @fierydiscourse. Be sure to subscribe to the Ludmillanon YouTube channel and subscribe to the playlist, like the video, hit the bell icon, and all that. Also, one of our co-hosts, Lucky Eevee, is currently having a fundraiser to help him get to a group home in the UK. That will also be in the description. Any and all assistance with that will be greatly appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we're going to be talking about the 2014 Pixar animated TV special, Toy Story That Time Forgot. Yes, folks, it's finally time for our Christmas special.
Oh yeah, baby.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Shep, going to be a lot of fun.
are a Christmas present.
Yeah. Well,
Special.
at least we don't have to talk about Toy Story 4. But that'll be it for next week. And thank you all so much for listening. And until then, take care.
Bye.
Adios. See you in a bit.
Peace out.
See you next week.